With the Citi Double Cash Card, you get 1% cash back when you buy and 1% as you pay. That's like the joy of getting 2 W's on the road. Or catching the home run ball without spilling your drink. Double boom. Double the love with the Citi Double Cash Card. Apply now at Citi.com/doublecash.
This is the worst of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
We've got sports for you today. Drew Brees is complaining. Drew Brees threw a really bad interception yesterday. I found myself yesterday watching Matt Ryan and being like, please be great, please be great. Oh, no, wait, you're just panic guy who, when he panics, throws to Julio Jones, no matter what.
Wouldn't you?
No matter. Yeah, I guess. But the Saints seem to know that. Sarah
Right.
Spain in with us all show today. Happy to have her here and on Highly Questionable. One of the things that we're going to do today is we're going to send Stugotz out into the street. And what time are we doing that, Mike Ryan? We're going to send him out into the street as an alter ego. It's Art Basel here in Miami. It's the biggest art extravaganza, I think, anywhere in the United States.
We're hoping for more people traffic out in South Beach. It's still a little bit early, so 90 minutes from now, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we're going to send out Flembrandt. And are you going to do a live painting out there, Stugotz?
Yeah, I'll do a live painting. I'm a little concerned because it's a bit hot outside for this time of year, and I'm concerned about the paint running, but we'll do our best out there. I will do a live painting out on 10th and Ocean today, yes.
What's your preferred medium?
My preferred what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You weren't speaking into a microphone.
How do you like to paint? How do you like to, what is it? She's asking you.
Acrylics.
Artistic?
I like acrylic painting. Yeah, it's my favorite. Did I say that right? I have no idea.
Painting is what she was asking you.
Oh.
Just if you're an artist, what kind of artist are you? Painter, not
crayons. Really
what kind
is
of paint do
my
you
specialty.
use?
Yeah, but I'll be out there with some paint today. Actually.
All right. Well, anyway, so if you don't know what we're talking about, Stugotz has created this character. He will be wearing a scarf. It'll either be Fraud Monet or Flembrandt or whatever other name it is, and he's going because he believes he's very good. His real artistic skill, when you ask what is his platform or what is his style, it's sales.
Ah, yes.
And so what he's going to do is because he believes that there is no art. There is no art to being able to see art and see something different and valuable that others see.
Yeah, I think art is a scam, and so I'm going to prove it today by going out there and selling my artwork, and I think it's going to go for a lot of money. Sarah, if you're interested in any of the pieces, you should check them out before I go out there because they're going to go quickly, and I'll put one aside for you.
I have a new home, yes. I have lots of walls to fill.
Have you seen any of them?
I would love for them to be filled with Flembrandts.
Have you seen any of the other work?
I saw one piece of art that was an homage to his favorite football coach, Art Briles.
Well, we don't know if it's that. That's left up for interpretation. It's known. The piece is simply known as art.
I just call that piece art. That is
perfect.
correct. Thank you.
Guillermo, would you like to show Sarah Spain, even though we're mostly on the radio, we're also on ESPNU, would you like to show Sarah Spain so she could describe for the audience what these works are that Stugotz is going to try and sell in the streets in the middle of Art Basel using his sales techniques? This is a real bad area to try to do that. I don't think he's going to make a single sale.
I don't think this is the area that people are looking for the fine art.
No, this is where the suckers hang out. I'm good. This is the right place for suckers. You know?
That's art.
She has seen that one. She has seen the art that she interprets as Art Briles because it's the devil in a Baylor or a B shirt. It might not be a Baylor shirt.
Listen, as I've told you a million times, art is whatever you want it to be.
Yes.
Okay, that B could be whatever you want
it
to be.
Mother.
Yeah. Did you see that?
No, I saw the previews for it, and then I started reading the reviews, and everyone seemed confused. And I'm like, no, if everyone's confused, I'm going to go ahead and sit out this artistic display.
Yeah, I read a spoiler review, and that seemed intense and excessive.
Right. Okay.
What happens in that movie?
Oh, wow. This is terrible.
Okay, well, this
is worse than anything I made when I was a child.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. We have now got another portrait in front of Sarah Spain, and let me explain to the audience.
It's called the Rachel.
All right, it's called the Rachel, and some people have interpreted there's a son in the corner, there's a house, and there seems to be a family, and 3 girls represented by the ribbons in their hair.
Yes.
And so it seems to be Stugotz's family, although we don't know. And then the one daughter, Rachel, seems to be
the one he dropped
to the side.
Yeah, I did.
And or it can be interpreted as she's making her way back home to the family, and the family's very happy, so she's getting closer. But some people can interpret that as she is outside of the family.
Yeah, that's the beauty of art. It's whatever you want it to be. It's also, maybe she's more independent than my other daughter. She's kind of flying on her own, at a younger age.
Right.
It's whatever you want it to be, and it's not necessarily my family. It can be any family.
Right. Well, what I want to ask you guys is, where do we need to set the over-under on what qualifies as a success here for Flembrandt, that's a fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flembrandt as he wanders the streets here.
Okay, so how much are you trying to sell these bad boys for?
Minimum $200 each.
Oh, my God.
So that's zero things
That's
that
too
you
low.
will sell.
That's too low.
That's too low, you think?
You're going to sell nothing.
You're going to sell nothing
might
unless
sell the art.
a listener hears that you're coming
Right.
outside and they just want to meet you and they give you $5 for your trash.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well,
I mean, I happen to think that there'll be a larger market for it because everything down here, if you want a quality piece of art down here this week, you're not spending $200.
Well,
it's impossible.
Leonardo DiCaprio's in town. He was with his art expert, and they were looking at an $850,000 piece in Wynwood.
Exactly. So I'm coming in low.
Presumably by a real artist
Right.
that's worth something.
That's correct.
So-
Real artist, whatever. I mean,
All right.
what makes them a real artist?
All right, what is a success for you then? Because I believe I'm with Sarah here. I don't think there's going to be a sale of substance. Like you might get $5 for something.
From a fan.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not accepting $5.
Wow. Okay.
I will not accept $5. I'll totally accept $5. I'm lying. I will absolutely
Mike,
accept $5.
what are we viewing? This is going to happen at 11:30 Eastern. Stugotz is going to be in the street, and we're going to chronicle it live as he tries to sell art. But I do feel like not only does this has the potential to not make a single dollar, it also has the potential to be terrible radio because he's not making a single dollar.
Oh, it's going to be good radio because, yes, there's art, as in the piece that may or may not be Art Briles. There's art that he's going to be doing, but the real art we need to be discussing is the art of the deal. And Stugotz is a crude negotiator.
That's what it is. Yes, that's right.
And that's the real performance art that's going to be happening at 11:30 a.m.
That's what
Eastern.
we're trying to
Can we take bets on how many minutes into this whole endeavor he gets before he ties in a charity?
Well, he did
Because
that last time, yeah.
Like the ice cream, I think when things get desperate,
Yes.
this is going to be, these are paintings made by sick kids.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, no, the money goes to...
Even better. They were made by the sick kids,
That would
and the
explain how-
money goes to them. That's why they're terrible.
I don't know. Like,
and why people should still buy them.
Listen, I'm not saying I won't go
That's a
there.
good marketing plan. That's a good plan.
Yeah,
by
but
her.
I don't want to go. I don't want to be too drastic unless I absolutely have
You
to
don't
be.
want to, but you're going to, and you're 2 minutes in and you're flailing and the bit is dying.
If I have to, I'll go there. But I'm going into this thinking I might not have to go there. I might say the charity tie-in is for kids who are sick who want to be artists as they get older. Like that might be like a little tie-in there.
I am torn on this because I absolutely believe in Stugotz's ability to make good radio and television. Absolutely believe in that. And I believe in Stugotz's ability to sell. I do not believe in Stugotz's ability to sell what is for sale here, which is just crap.
Well, it might be crap to you. It might be beautiful to others. I mean, that's the beauty
correct.
of art. That's what
That's
art's all about, man.
That's right.
I'm an artist. I should know these things.
I know.
You don't.
In an hour and a half. Correct. I wouldn't know. I am a layman. I am a maker of shoes, a cobbler, compared to your artistry. So I look forward to seeing what you unveil in an hour and 15 minutes on the public. But again, I want to set a number for what's a success. Because I don't want him to be able to claim success afterward unless he meets his expectations.
How many pieces do we have that are done already? How many pieces?
5 pieces.
So I'm doing one live out
Shouldn't
there.
you know that as the artist?
Well, I don't know. I gave them, I said, listen, I gave Billy the keys to my warehouse, and I said, take out whatever you want.
Your gallery?
This is a big day. My gallery, yeah. And we have some pop-up shops coming up. But I gave Guillermo the keys. I said, bring whatever you want. So I don't know what he brought. So he brought 5. I'm going to do one live. So that's 6 total.
Prime 5 from the extensive Stugotz collection. He doesn't know which 5 he brought.
What's your sales quota? You need to go into this with a goal. What's a true success?
Have you noticed this? And I keep asking this question, and I keep getting smoke and sabotage.
But no, I was trying to figure out. So I have 6 pieces, 1 live. The live goes for a premium. That's obvious because I'm doing it for you live right out there. And I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm painting already. I'm thinking like, $1,200, north of $1,200.
Okay, so that's the quota.
You're out of your mind.
I'm not saying I'm going to get there, but that's what I'm aiming for.
All right, I will say a success is $500. If you get $500, it would be a wild success.
Now, I need to know the rules here. Am I putting that in my own pocket?
Sarah, you're underestimating listeners in the Miami area who will just come
who
here
wanna
and just
Stugotz?
that art. Somebody's going to want art.
Right.
Somebody's going to want that.
It has nothing to do with Stugotz. It has to do with the arts.
Like, I do think he could get some money. I just don't think he could get much money.
Well, that's not cheating. Some artists go their entire lives with no one buying any of their works, and then when they die, they become this ultra famous artist. fame is what sells pieces. And
Right.
Stugotz is famous.
Or death. So maybe Stugotz, if things
Maybe
really
we can
start to-
combine those things at 11:30.
things really start to go wrong.
Dan Le Batard.
Let's play the sound of Taylor Twellman speaking on behalf. Taylor Twellman, excuse me. He's an ESPN analyst who I thought was going to roundhouse kick Matt Brados during the middle of this.
Max.
Mother bleep.
Stugotz.
Sorry, man.
Mother. Yeah, you're sorry.
That's an easy one.
You're sorry.
What'd you call him?
Sorry.
I'm not. What'd you call him?
Joe Brados. He was sitting there next to Tyler Twellman. Let's go to the sound.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So last night's game, the Atlanta Falcons beat the New Orleans Saints 20-17 in a game that had a lot of crud in it. And was an important game because if Atlanta loses it, they would have been in some trouble. And the game ends weirdly with Sean Payton running out onto the field and the referee throwing a flag that shouldn't be thrown in that situation. The game should not end with a referee throwing a flag up in the air. That's not how a game of football where people are giving their spines and spleens to this thing should end, with an old guy throwing a flag in the air against another old guy, neither of which ever have to do anything in the way of violence. But Drew Brees, how weird was that for you to see? The game has become so precise, and these guys have gotten so good at throwing to receivers that are not in any human way open. Like they're throwing into these windows that it looks like Drew Brees is making a terrible decision, but he makes that throw all the time into tight spaces. And this ridiculous pterodactyl who plays for the Falcons at linebacker just jumped up and surprised him with the athleticism. But what I wanted to ask you is, were you surprised, Sarah, the way I am, anytime Tom Brady throws an interception where you're like, whoa, I don't recognize that. That's so weird to see Drew Brees throw an interception in the end zone.
Yeah, it's not quite the Aaron Rodgers thing where you're like, whoa. What, did he black out for a minute there? He never does that.
Right.
But especially, I think it is his first red zone interception of the season. This is the guy that you usually trust in situations like that, especially when you're watching the Falcons on the other end make the kind of mistakes that deserve to lose. When Matt Ryan has 3 picks, you presume that Drew Brees is going to be safe enough to just avoid.
How about Quinn at the end? Quinn is so, like, Quinn's own fear of what he would do in that situation forced him to put New Orleans in a position where he's like, I don't want 3rd and 11. I want you to be in 4th and short because I know I would kick the field goal in that situation. And Payton's like, really? All right, quarterback sneak. More downs for my guy?
Right.
And but Quinn's like, that always fascinating to me when these guys who are demanding the strength from others do stuff like that, where he's not, all he was doing there was motivated by his own fear. 4th and short there, I kicked the field goal for the tie. So that's what Peyton's going to do, right? We got him off the field, and Peyton's like, no, I'm going to sneak it here, and then I'm going to keep the ball, and then he gets rewarded at the end anyway.
It was interesting, right? Quinn gets rewarded
for his cowardice.
Right,
for his cowardice.
Exactly right. I have so much confidence in Brees in that spot. I thought the game was over. I really did. I'm like, all right, this game's over. Drew Brees is going to get it done. But I was surprised to see that.
I think Quinn knows that the moment that the offense stayed on the field on 4th and short, I feel like I don't know which coach was more horrified in the moment. Quinn, when he saw Seattle or that New Orleans was keeping its people on the field and was just going to keep the ball for the rest of the game, or Sean Payton when he realized, oh my God, that flag my guys have been fighting all game. All of them have been leaving the field injured. We are totally depleted, and look how the game ends with me not being able to be disciplined. And always asking the discipline, like the look on his face of recognition where he's like, oh my God, I just lost the game.
Well, and then later when he says he doesn't remember making the choking symbol.
Ridiculous.
Do you think he really didn't remember? Like it was one of those where he was so enraged, and that's what the guy said. I think the competes came out, that he was so enraged that's why I did it. Or do you think he didn't have any good answer for it? And so by saying he doesn't remember.
I think he had no good answer.
He doesn't have to acknowledge and
well, what do you think, Sarah? You think he doesn't remember doing that?
No, that's a good. I like exploring that conversational space, though.
There's a possibility.
What do you do once? Let's do it this way. Stugotz, you've made the choke gesture to, for those of you who don't know, Devontae Freeman ran out of bounds. He ran past Sean Payton, and Sean Payton seemed to tell him choke, pointing to his, or holding his neck and yelling choke. I don't know whether he was talking about the Super Bowl last year.
Well, I mean, what else would it be? Yes. I mean, that's
I don't know whether something happened in the game that you guys are going to choke because you're down 17-10. You're not going to win this game.
People have been doing that to the Falcons since they lost that Super Bowl.
Regardless, the idea,
signs,
what do you do next? You've been caught doing that on camera. Now what?
I guess I say I don't remember, but I definitely remember doing it. Like I'm interested in exploring whether or not he remembers. You could be in a place of rage where maybe you do something like that and you don't remember it, but man, I find it hard to believe in that spot where he was up at the time, right? Where he was that, like, enraged where he doesn't remember it.
No, but it does. Sarah's point's a good one because it does neuter the way we can talk about it if we don't have sound from him explaining it. Like, he can add fuel to our content fire if he were to say anything, really. Anything other than I don't remember.
Right, he could even say the best apology possible, and we're still going to talk about it much more than if he literally just says, it's honestly a trick out of the book of some of the people at the highest level of our country. If you just say it never happened or you don't remember it, I do not recall.
Well, he said,
do not recall
he not
making
only
the
said I don't
gesture.
remember. He left the press conference.
No, I know.
At that moment.
But then we're left with discussing whether or not you believe him when he says he doesn't remember.
Right, which is potentially better than discussing whether or not he nailed the apology or owned up to it in a way that we think is sufficient.
Or lost the game at the end because he was a dope.
Because no one on the field was more out of control than the coach of the Saints who's demanding discipline of everybody else.
Because I guess what's worse, implying that you were so angry that you were unable to control yourself, or implying that you were in full control and decided to make the choke symbol at the opposing team.
Listen to what I'm telling you. The best decision Sean Payton made all of last night was saying he didn't remember that. That's the best thing he did last night. I'd be so mad if I was 330-pound defensive tackle busting my back for this guy, and at the end of the game, what ends the game as I'm trying to keep the Falcons and Devontae Freeman from getting the 10 yards so I could get the ball to my quarterback for the last 20 seconds of the game is my coach betraying me like that. I mean, he should say he doesn't remember. That is the thing for him to say. He should tell everybody today, look, man, I was on pills. The medication.
Wisdom teeth.
No,
I had a wisdom tooth out, and
it was the medication. I'm not just
that
telling
would go
us.
over better,
I'm saying in his locker room, guys, look. I don't know why I did that to Devontae Freeman. That's not cool. We were up in the game, and then who choked? We did. Yeah. My bad.
Then they unearthed some pregame footage where he's talking to the team, and the whole time he's like, remember, guys, these guys are chokers. And then they're like, wait a minute. Hold on.
Right. And then
this was premeditated.
And then at the end of the game, what does your champion quarterback do?
Yep.
Choke.
Dan Le Batard.
Harden got selfish and decided he wanted to go to Houston and be the guy. And I told you when he went there, he's never going to win a championship. He was more concerned, James Harden, about being the best player on a decent team than he was on being the third best player on a legendary team.
Stugotz.
Hey, James Harden. And the beard's enough already. Oh, who is he with a beard? Hey, he's trying to be different. I get it, James Harden. The beard. It's seriously the beard. When I think of James Harden, I won't think of anything other. I won't think of championships. I won't think of winning. I won't think of one of the all-time greats. I'll only think of his ridiculous beard. It's Harden. Him and his beard should be ashamed of themselves.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Get instant gold status at Shell. Join the Fuel Rewards program now at fuelrewards.com/gold. Here's your SportsCenter update. Immediately after they fired their former general manager, the Browns hired John Dorsey as their GM and confirmed that Hugh Jackson will continue as head coach next season. Makes sense. Saints running back Alvin Kamara left New Orleans' 20-17 loss to the Falcons early after absorbing a helmet-to-helmet hit. He was evaluated for a concussion. And finally, earlier this week, it was revealed that Quentin Tarantino was currently eyeing Star Trek as his potentially final film. Deadline has revealed more details of Tarantino's plans. First and foremost, Tarantino required that the film be R-rated, and the studio agreed to meet the condition. Tarantino has also met with several prospective writers. Mark L. Smith, best known for penning The Revenant, is said to be the frontrunner. Smith would pen the film script as Tarantino shoots his Charles Manson movie this summer. Tarantino intends to direct the Star Trek film himself. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Did you say Star Trek throughout that? You didn't say Star Wars at any point, right? Because I thought from the very beginning that I was hearing a Star Wars story, and then you hit us with Star Trek at the end.
Did I say Star Wars the first time?
No, you said Star Trek the entire time. Yeah. There's no way Star Wars would ever bend
I was
to
going
the
to say
R-rating.
R-rated. That's what I was going to be totally shocked by that.
But then you also said The Revenant.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, a little fine in there
the
for Dan, though, I
Revenant?
think. I feel like.
The Revenant, yeah. The Revenant.
I said The Revenant. Did I say it wrong?
I'm pretty sure you said The Revenant.
Okay. It's okay, Stugotz.
It's all right. You did pretty well for you.
I mean, how about you guys? You read things in front of a live audience and let everyone pick you apart every single day.
I wasn't. Sarah was picking you apart.
I was.
For the
I'm a
record.
great
Well, then that's okay.
I was asking for a clarification on Star Wars or Star Trek because I didn't hear it right. I was not attacking you.
Well, you should listen better. Fine.
Either way, it's pretty incredible, right?
Oh my goodness.
That Quentin Tarantino's final film would be a Star Trek movie.
Yes, but it would be you would acknowledge that it would be even more incredible if it was a Star Wars movie.
I'd have so many more questions.
So that's where my confusion came from.
Why are we still making Star Trek, by the way? I mean, how many Star Trek movies do they have to make?
Guillermo, put it on the poll. If Tarantino wants to make Star Trek, is he allowed to make Star Trek? Tarantino can do whatever he wants in terms of movie making.
Right, I was going to say, careful. We might find out he's been doing whatever he wants for quite some time.
Yes, I know that. I don't want to talk about the movie making.
I love his movies. I do. I love his movies, but Star Trek, like you think Tarantino's touch on Star Trek can make it better than any Star Trek I've ever seen?
Yes.
I doubt it.
Well, Star Trek's actually been revamped by J.J. Abrams, who did such a good job with it. He got the Star Wars franchise. Maybe that's where your confusion came in. But this would be a weird departure from what's been working for the Star Trek. It's just bizarre. Tarantino and Star Trek.
How many directors do you guys? How many directors? I'll watch anything the Coen brothers make. I will watch anything Scorsese makes. I will watch anything Tarantino makes. Once upon a time, I would have watched anything M. Night Shyamalan would have made, and then I stopped.
I think it was just that one.
I think it's Shyamalan, but I think Shyamalan might be more appropriate.
Still into Spielberg? Spielberg? You still?
Yeah, I mean, okay,
no,
not
Spielberg though. No, because he's had a lot of movies that Dan hasn't seen lately.
But I'm saying, if you tell me
watching BFG,
yeah, I haven't seen Schindler's List. I'm just curious if you put on the poll right now Tarantino making Star Trek, that's going to come back positive, right? Everybody's going to want Tarantino on just about anything, right?
Well, and as much as it feels like a departure, that's part of what's interesting about it, is when you take something that you understand and you get in a certain way, and then you try to stylize it in the way that you imagine Tarantino would, that's interesting to people, even those who aren't interested in Star Trek.
But this is his final movie, right? Like, I think for me, because I love his work so much, it's a waste of a final movie. I know Star Trek. I know it. I've seen 100 different versions of it.
Okay.
You've seen 100 different versions.
I don't care, man. First off, you're never going to be better than the original TV series. That's first and foremost. And secondly, I want him to do something closer to True Romance, Reservoir Dogs. Those are the kind of movies that I like.
Well, maybe he is in space.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. I'm telling you, far away from the microphone muttered. That's a losing argument if I've ever heard one.
It's a good point by him.
Thank you. I mean, I thought so.
All right. Well, but hold on. But this segment started with Stugotz and Sarah Spain giggling. The reason they were giggling is because I don't know what reason, but for the 7th consecutive month, the television here has had Max Kellerman on it, and Stugotz and Mike Ryan have uttered concern for how Max Kellerman looks. They think that there's something wrong with him, that the lighting is such that he looks jaundiced, and every month, for 7 months, they've been asking me. I've texted Max, are you okay?
Right.
Because the conversation becomes around how gray and a payish gray that Max Kellerman has become.
And he always responds, it's the cameras or the lighting, right? Like, I'm fine, it's cameras, it's lighting.
Everything's good, it's the lighting.
I
I'm
guess
worried about
if
him.
for 7 months cameras and lighting were making people text me, are you okay? I might ask if they could change the cameras and lighting, but maybe he's just not at all.
I think it's something more sinister. I think that slowly First Take is stealing his soul.
I was to say, it's like being the president. Working with Stephen A., you age 5 times faster than the average person.
Stephen A. Smith ain't aging.
No, it doesn't affect him. He is the one that's affecting everyone else.
Yeah, but he's stealing everyone else's youth around him.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
And Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Stephen A. Smith stealing everyone else's youth around him?
Yes.
Because I do believe that we need to conduct an investigation. Has anyone else noticed this?
Well, how's Molly doing? Like, we need to check in on Molly.
Lighting seems to be fine on Molly.
Yeah.
I think we need to find wherever FS1 is and see how Skip's doing. Does he look better than he did? Is he slowly regenerating?
Before and after
This
pictures.
is a good point.
Right.
This is a good point. Is he slowly, like the octopus when it loses a limb? Is Skip Bayless getting stronger?
Where would I find that?
That was the joke. Yeah.
That was the
Need
joke.
to find FS1, and then once we do, and then
joke. That was the joke. But then, heavy-handed. That was.
I just wanted to hammer it home, you know?
Does have a fresh coat on lately.
A Bayless?
Yeah.
Do you think it's lacquered?
Yeah.
Do you think like it's an actual fresh coat of paint that they put on Skip Bayless?
Yeah. A roller.
Yeah, they come in with a roller like get Max one of those.
A strawberry blonde orange roller.
Get Max one of those. Get the one Skip left behind.
I think Max needs those people from Dancing with the Stars that turn you into like 3 shades darker. Just while his life force is being sucked out to prevent us viewers from noticing, he needs to.
Is this something you've noticed before, though, Sarah? Because Mike and Stugotz are always bringing it to my attention, and I always think it's the lighting.
What's interesting is I was just on First Take because they invited me. Stugotz, did you get the invite?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So I was just on the show.
You had something to do with that, didn't you?
No, they wanted the fresh new things on the radio slate. You guys are old news. But he seemed fine in person. So perhaps it is the lighting.
He seemed fine in person. I keep telling him. Max keeps telling me he's fine. There's no doctor's visits. There's nothing happening with his health.
He's gray.
I know. That's aging. Is anyone else made uncomfortable? Kean Fahey's going to be here at 11:30 and Carrot Top at 12:30. 11:30 Eastern. That's a hell of a guest list we put together.
I'm missing the Kean Fahey segment. I'm going outside to do my art during Kean Fahey.
Kean's going to be here at 11. You're going out and doing your art at 11:30.
Okay. Very good. So Kean Fahey will be here in 20 minutes. Is anyone else being bothered, though? And this is dangerous. This is tricky ground for me here. Herm Edwards deserves his goodbye. And Herm Edwards has a lot of great relationships in the building. But we're a journalistic entity, and us saying goodbye this publicly to Herm Edwards for several days is just getting more and more attention for the people who hired him at Arizona State, at least in part because they wanted the attention that came from Herm Edwards being in the national consciousness for 10 years. And I love Herm, but the idea that we're all on the air and all we're doing is slapping Herm on the back, that doesn't feel like journalism. Like are we allowed to be a journalism company sometimes?
Yes, absolutely. We are a journalism company sometimes, and sometimes we're an entertainment company. And in this moment, I don't think we're violating any journalistic principles by having an extended goodbye and giving them a little extra pub. In the same way that when
but it's not a little extra pub. It's days and days and days of Arizona State football being all over ESPN. They couldn't pay for that and get it.
Right. Well, that's what we do with Lane Kiffin. That's why you hire Lane Kiffin, because you're going to have him come on here and talk about things and draw attention and tweet. And I mean, that's part of the draw of getting someone with a name. And for the couple days that Herm is on his way out of here, that's a great bump for them.
I would kind of earn that.
I would argue. Hold on a second. This isn't about Herm.
No, I know it's not about Herm.
I'm not talking about Herm here. I'm talking about.
You think it's going to give Arizona State some sort of.
What I'm saying is that Arizona State, if I told them, did Herm just pay for his salary the last couple of days? The answer is yes.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't do that for everybody.
That doesn't bother me though, because we can't calculate the ad equivalency for every time we talk about someone and what it would do for their program if they had paid for that time. We don't have an equal time regulation around here. We talk about what we're interested in.
Kind of did it with Aaron Boone, too, did we not?
I think that maybe we should, though, is what I'm saying. Like, that we should, as a journalism company, we should have a equal time. We could all say goodbye to Herm very lovingly without it having being days and days of saying goodbye to Herm, where Arizona State is on the, like, they hired, these guys at Arizona State hired Herm Edwards, at least in part, because they've been boys for a really long time.
Right.
And Herm Edwards has had a credibility. This is not a hire that would make any sense if Herm Edwards hadn't been on television for the last 10 years, because everybody would be laughing at it uproariously if Herm Edwards had simply not been in our consciousness instead of on ESPN.
But hold on a second, because I'm told that Herm Edwards, it was very important to him to finish out his obligations at ESPN. Mm-hmm. So are we saying he could have done all that without us promoting Arizona State so much?
I'm not talking about Herm here. I'm talking about our responsibility.
Right. But his question is, if he wants to live out the rest of his contract, would you have preferred that he'd stuck around but we not acknowledge that he was moving on?
Sarah, Colin Cowherd had a contract here. He had a controversy at the end that wouldn't have ended his career, but ended it at that moment because they didn't want him on the air for 1 minute longer because they knew he was leaving for Fox.
Right.
That's how we treat people around here. Herm got, and look, man, Herm deserves everything.
But that was a controversy. They didn't want him on the air because he had done something that was questionable, and they knew he was leaving for a competitor. Herm did not cause a controversy, and he's not leaving for a competitor.
Dan, I'm not even disagreeing with you. I'm asking you if Herm just played out this week here, but we didn't promote Arizona State so much. That would have been fine, I think,
it would have been different.
Yeah.
Yes, it would have been different. My objection is not to anything Herm did. It's to what we did as a company.
Catch more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, Stugotz, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Time to check in with MRL's leading football expert, Kian Fahey.
Alex Smith is the guy who has a wide receiver wide open in the end zone and will run straight out of bounds and take a sack because he's in field goal range.
For more of his work, visit presnapritz.com.
You can't predict yak.
Cheerios, mate, Cheerios.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, comparing rates to help you save. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today and find out how much Progressive could save you. Kian Fahey going to join us in just a second here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. I'll take your phone calls, 786-456-4837. Here's your SportsCenter update. The Philadelphia 76ers have traded Jahlil Okafor to the Brooklyn Nets for Trevor Booker. The Miami Marlins, have traded second baseman Dee Gordon to the Seattle Mariners for 3 prospects and cash. And finally, Snoop Dogg once tried to rent the entire country of Liechtenstein for a video shoot, and the main reason they said no is because he didn't give them enough notice. At the time, in 2011, anyone could rent the entire country for just $70,000 a night, which included customized street signs, temporary currency, and accommodation for 150 guests.
Yeah, that's a great night.
Have the show Christmas party there.
Can we do that? You said something about you used to be able to do that. You can't do it anymore, right?
I don't know what the going rate is. This is back in 2011.
Can we try, Mike? Look,
you want to call Liechtenstein?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can rent it for the show for a day.
I'm going to do that.
Marlins parade is ruined. Just funnel the funds over to Liechtenstein.
Right, that's right.
For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
So Kian Fahey is here to talk football. If you want to talk to him, the telephone number is 786-456-4837. The pass that Drew Brees made last night, I feel like he's always trying to throw into those windows, and that all these guys are always trying to throw into these windows at these tight ends where guys aren't actually open. What did you see there at the end of that game?
Okay, so the reason you do that, if you go to the Matt Ryan interception in the end zone to Julio Jones, when he releases that ball, the defensive back is looking at Julio Jones. So he thinks he throws that ball into a tight window, but it's not really a tight window because the defensive back can't see the ball. So it was the same situation. Actually, on that Ryan interception, it was a bad throw. It was just underthrown. If he'd actually pushed it further, Julio would have had a chance. But on the Breeze interception, Josh Hill was the tight end. He did not run a great route, and the reason he didn't run a great route is he didn't push upfield enough on the outside shoulder of the defender. And you need to do that to turn the defender's head and force him to turn with you. And Deion Jones never had to turn. It was still a terrible throw by Breeze. And Breeze quietly has not had a great year this year because they've been able to rely on Kamara and rely on Ingram. And he's made a lot of throws like that. He made one on Sunday against the Panthers where he threw the ball straight to a defender when they were winning by 14.
That's what aging is supposed to look like unless you're Tom Brady.
Well, it looked like it for Tom Brady for a while too, and then you made a fool of yourself and he came back.
That's right. That's exactly how that happened. You chronicled that correctly.
You had Brady done 7 years ago.
That's right.
As well,
that's right. Chiefs. I remember the game distinctly. I remember where I was. They lost by 1,000,000 points against the Chiefs. I remember where I was. There it is. It's done. What's it been? 7 championships since then?
Multiple Super Bowls, multiple
Super Bowl
MVPs. Since then.
Yeah, he's in the conversation again this year.
Yep, good call. Kian, what's the difference between Matt Ryan this season and Matt Ryan a year ago?
Okay, it's a really boring answer. It's a really crappy answer, but a lot of luck. He had an interception last night that wasn't his fault. He had a couple that were caught that were his fault. Last year, he had 20, in my charting, he had 22% of his interceptable passes were actually caught by defenders. No one else was above or was below 25%, and most people were about 45%. So that's the biggest difference. There's also the Kyle Shanahan factor. There's wide receivers dropping more passes than they did last year. So it's a combination of a lot of things.
That's not a boring answer, though. I think that's a great answer.
Yes.
I think most people just say, Shanahan's not there. But what I'm doing when I'm watching yesterday, Kian, I'm seeing a dude that when he's most panicked, he just lobs the ball to wherever Julio is and says, you figure it out. And that's not what I want from my quarterback.
But that's the beauty of Shanahan's offense. In Shanahan's offense, everything's very clearly defined. He doesn't have to just drop back and manage the pocket and try and figure a bunch of things out as he's doing it.
What do you do with the Philadelphia result last week? You have been unpopular, right? Because you are not praising Carson Wentz as much as most people are praising Carson Wentz.
I'm always unpopular, Dan. I don't take a huge amount from it because no other team is going to be able to replicate what the Seahawks defensive front did. The Seahawks defensive front, even with Cam Chancellor out, with Richard Sherman out, that's on the back end. On the front side of that defense, they've got a huge amount of speed with Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Michael Bennett, Sheldon Richardson, who's a ridiculous player who should never have been allowed to go to that team. It was just unfair advantage at this point. But they play with such speed and discipline that they can contain that running game while also reacting to the option plays where they stretch the defense horizontally. Maybe the Minnesota Vikings will be able to do it. Maybe the Rams might have a chance of doing it, but they're very inconsistent. You need to get them on a good day. But besides the Seahawks and the Vikings, it's hard to think of anyone else replicating that and putting the Eagles in a position where the quarterback has to play in uncomfortable situations.
All right, be honest here, because remember, you're talking to me. So just pretend you're just talking to me, and I don't care about these things. You are in your living room watching the Eagles lose, watching Wentz not playing so well, and you are cheering that, right?
I'm pretty sure I was in a bar with Amin that day, so I wasn't even watching it.
But you were happy when you saw the result and saw that he didn't play well, right?
No, I don't care, man. I don't care. I'm going to get crap from people no matter what. Am I allowed to say that on the radio? Either way. I'm going to get stuff from people either way, because if Russell Wilson has a great game, there's people who think I hate Russell Wilson as well, so it's the same to me.
I mean, we know that you hate Wentz, so that's why it's different. Okay, so Goff and the Rams. What are you seeing from Goff? What's the biggest difference in his game this year from last year that's allowing him to be more successful?
Well, he's taken a step forward. He was like, all the criticism he got as a rookie, and you can, like, it wasn't me, it was I was criticizing him, but there was loads of people criticizing him. He deserved all of that. Like, there were literally plays where he threw the ball and it kind of dribbled forward. It wasn't anywhere near a wide open receiver. This year he's taken a big step. He's gone from being maybe the worst, well, actually, there's no maybe about it. He was the worst quarterback in the league last year. Him and Blake Bortles were down there together, and with Tom Savage when he played as well. He's jumped up to probably the 20th, 19th, 18th, around that area. But then you've got that Sean McVay offense, and I don't want to focus on Sean McVay because everyone talks about Sean McVay. I assume you've heard about the audibling part of that Sean McVay does.
Well, I was just going to ask you guys. I was going to ask you and let me explain this to the audience. So they've got this new helmet thing. They've got a rule, right, Stugotz, where you can they turn off the mics in your helmet within a certain amount of time.
15 seconds.
Within 15 seconds. And what McDermott's been doing is he's been getting McVay, excuse me, that is a fine.
Yeah, Kean called you out for it. Good job, Kean.
That's a fine.
All right, well, you explain it, Kean. I'm going to go ahead and pay this fine. You go ahead and explain what I was trying to explain.
Okay, so Sean McVay, it's not a new rule. It's the same rule. The headsets and the helmets come off at the 15-second mark. And what Sean McVay is doing is getting his offense to the line at about 21, 22 seconds. So Sean McVay is then the one calling the actual audibles for Jared Goff. Jared Goff doesn't have to make the pre-snap reads. Then the other thing that's kind of not mentioned here, he's got John Sullivan at center, who's a very old center who was cut from the Minnesota Vikings because he wasn't healthy. But he's played a lot of football. And I have a suspicion, and it's something I want to find out. I haven't actually got an answer from anyone who have asked yet. I wonder how much of a role he's playing in setting protections. Because if you now have the coach calling the audibles and the center setting the protections, the mental side of the game for Goff is limited to basically reacting to anything that changes after the ball is snapped.
That's interesting.
I love that.
That is interesting. Like that's why
simplify
it. No, and people are saying that they're getting around the rules or the spirit of the rules by doing all this stuff. But it does sound like they are protecting Goff like no other quarterback's being actually protected.
But you see, the thing is, teams are going to catch on to this as well. The Minnesota Vikings were able to catch on to it because if you know they're coming to the line and they're going to judge what you do at the 16-second mark, and then the quarterback is all the responsibility, you show him one thing and then you show him something completely different at 14 seconds, and he comes into your trap.
But they haven't figured that out yet, and this story has been in the news stream for a couple of weeks.
Oh, the Vikings shut them down. They scored a touchdown on the opening drive, scripted plays from McVay, and then after that they shut Goff down completely.
So do you think that Goff and the Rams will have significantly less success if teams pick up on that? Or is it something where McVay then says, all right, we need to have more set plays that are called before that 14-second mark?
Uh,
But that's why I didn't want to just start and just say McVay, because it's also the offense around them is really talented. We're in this position where we say McVay is doing something that Jeff Fisher didn't do. And you can blame Jeff Fisher for the team he created, but if you just take the actual pieces that were there last year and compare them to this year, it's completely different. Andrew Whitworth, John Sullivan, like I said, but then the receiving core, Gerald Everett at tight end is an explosive tight end they didn't have. Sammy Watkins is one of the best receivers in the league. We don't talk about him because he's playing a role right now where he spends most of his time drawing coverage away and opening up for Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, who are both new players as well. So it's not like I mentioned with the Eagles, it's not an easy offense to match up to. They're always going to try and dictate the play. They're always going to be proactive against you unless you've got a really, really good defense.
You could check him out on ESPN's The Nickel Package podcast. He hosts Tuesdays with David Jacoby. You could also see his work at presnapreads.com. Follow him on Twitter at CIANAF. All right, answer these questions for me based on what you've seen in terms of film work. Who's doing the most with the least? You're watching these games and you're saying to yourself, man, this team isn't quite as talented as its record. Who's doing the most with the least?
As in team as a whole or individual?
Well, I want to do teams first. I want to do least and most. I want to do both sides of this.
It's an interesting question, but I think it's an obvious answer for the most because the Jets, everyone thought they were going to go 0-16, and I don't necessarily buy into them being that significantly better than a really bad team. It's just they've won some close games to beat the Chiefs last week, so it has to be the Jets. I don't think there's any even second answer there.
All right, and so then how about the least with the most, where you're looking at it and you're like, this team should be better, but they're being held back?
I'm pretty sure I came on this show last year and you asked me who was doing a great job coaching-wise that no one was talking about, and I said Hugh Jackson. And this year, it's the complete opposite. The main reason they are going to be 0-16 is that whole coaching staff.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad they re-upped him for next year.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Who is the fastest team in the league?
Probably overall, if you're kind of judging it in fair, where defense is equal to the offense, it's got to be the Seahawks because Paul Richardson, Tyler Lockett, exceptionally quick wide receivers, Russell Wilson, obviously. Doug Baldwin's not exactly slow, and like I talked about in that defensive front, speed everywhere.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Dan Le Batard.
Texter writes in, Stugotz looks homeless today. If I saw him walking down Ocean Drive, I would give him $5.
Stugotz.
Thank you.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And now your SportsCenter update. The Philadelphia 76ers have traded Jahlil Okafor to the Brooklyn Nets for Trevor Booker.
I'm sorry, Sarah. Look behind you on the camera behind you of Stugotz wearing a scarf and a...
It looks good, actually.
He does. He looks like an artist. He's surrounded by people. There are people in the street. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He just looks like a French artist.
Other than the jeans, he's really selling it.
Yeah. Okay. He's negotiating.
Oh, boy.
He's making moves. We'll check in with him in a second.
Oh, boy. Miami Marlins have traded second baseman Dee Gordon to the Seattle Mariners for 3 prospects and cash. And finally, U.S. beef cattle have ballooned in size, experts say restaurants, grocery stores, and meat processors have had to get creative in how they slice and dice them up. Increasingly, that means thinner steaks, as well as more scrap meat and quote-unquote alternative cuts designed to make the most of a bigger animal. The cattle industry argues that it provides cheaper and more plentiful beef from fewer cattle. But there's emerging evidence that Americans dislike the changes to their steaks, and that could hurt the beef sector in the long run. For all the latest headlines and information, tune into SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Our thanks to Sarah Spain for making everything around here better on this Friday. We like to have a little more fun than usual on Fridays. So Stugotz is now on the corner of 10th and Ocean. He has got his art display up. He is surrounded by people, all of whom I believe work for us.
Yes, those are all employees.
Okay, those are all people who work for us. They're on the phone. They're moving around diligently. Let's check in with Stugotz now. Stugotz, what kind of report can you give us from the corner of 10th and Ocean where you are being Flembrant and you are trying to sell some of your art because you believe art is a crock?
Well, these are some of my finest pieces, and it is it's a little warm down here for December, so some of these things are starting to bleed a little bit. Well, I'm a little concerned about that, which brings down the value, of course. So here's the deal. The crowd is starting to form right now, and there are people coming around. I know you can't really see them from where you are right now, Dan, but I promise you that people have driven by. They want the art, and someone has already made an offer on the art, and someone has also made an offer on the Rachel. So I will keep you posted.
What offer? What was the offer? Be specific. We missed offers being made? What do you mean?
I don't want to reveal too much, but I will. Okay, I'll just give you the offer. The offer that was made for art, okay, was $50. That gentleman is coming back here in a couple of minutes, and what I told him was, hey, hopefully it's still here when you get back here. But he has made a $50 offer on art, and someone has made a $25 offer on Rachel. So right now, at the very least, I got $75, and someone just drove by and they waved to me. So they're fans of the show, and they're going to get a piece of art. They just don't know that they're paying for it. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Stugotz, which one is the Rachel? Is that the 2 circles?
It's the house. The Rachel is the house.
Right.
Yeah, that's the house where it's me, my wife, and my other daughter holding hands, and Rachel, because she's earned this, she's just kind of off to the side. She's not a good girl. So
wait a minute, that's up for interpretation. That's not what you were doing. That's the way you interpret it.
That's how I interpret it. But of course, art is in the eye of the beholder, and so you can interpret it however you want. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to interpret it. That's just what I had. That's what I was thinking when I actually put that piece together.
All right, can I talk to Billy for a second, real quick? Billy's there. He's handling things. Okay. I want to talk to Billy for just a second. Do you mind that? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind it at all. Billy, they would like to talk to you. I'd like to sell my art. So how do you want to do this? I'm going to
just for a second. Just for a second, I want to talk to Guillermo.
All right, hold on.
Guillermo,
hold on a second.
Guillermo, can you give us an honest appraisal, please?
Hello?
I don't believe anything Stugotz just said. Can you give us an honest appraisal of everything that's going down there real quick?
It's very windy. Art is already falling. The people that are helping us. Sorry, the pieces are falling everywhere, falling on people.
All right, go ahead. Hold on. All right, so Stugotz, give the phone back to Stugotz so he can negotiate. Thank you for all your contributions. That's $2 when you get back. All right, Billy, $2. You go ahead and put that in the bucket when you get back.
I was fine for
yeah, all right.
As a woman, I think I'm allowed to say that no one's paying attention to the art right now.
Oh, because we've got...
All right, so hold on, guys.
Got an onlooker.
The Clevelander bartender was down there. Okay.
No. We have a line that's starting to form right now, and momentum is really gaining here. So I have a gentleman. What is your name, sir?
My name's Brendan.
All right, so we have Brendan here, and Brendan is checking out the exhibit right now as we speak. Is there a particular... It is a phenomenal. I appreciate that. Some of my finest work. Is there a particular piece here that might interest you? It is Art Basel Week, and I promise you, whatever I'm selling these for, you're not going to find art as good as this for as cheap as this anywhere on the beach. Okay? So what do you want? Which one interests you the most? I have this one. I have the art. That's called art right there. Yeah. The devil wearing the green jacket. Yeah, it almost looks like Art Bras. You're right. But I'll leave that. Listen, that's your interpretation of it. That's not mine, but that's fine. The gentleman next to you has already made me a $50 offer on art. So if you want to, I hate to do this in front of you, sir, but if you want to offer more than 50, feel free to go ahead. I'll start a bidding war right now.
Yes, a bidding war.
That Art Bryles is speaking to me.
Yeah, so let me also explain this one. This is the piece that I am proudest of. It's called Empty. Okay? We just call it Empty. And what it is
emptiness
formerly
before.
called Emptiness.
It was emptiness before.
It was emptiness before, but now I call it Empty. Okay? So it's empty. So really what I allow you to do with this piece is I let you fill it in. First off, you got to unwrap it. And then secondly, what I do is I allow you to fill it in however you want to fill it in. Okay? That is artwork. It's deep, right? It's deep. It's deep. It's whatever you want it to be. It's amazing. Beautiful. So what do you think, $100 for that?
Art Bryles is speaking to me. I don't know.
Oh, the art is speaking to you.
To him. The art, we don't know if it's Art Bryles.
What do you call the happy family?
The happy family, that's called the Rachel. Okay, and so you can interpret that however you want. When I was putting that together, I was thinking that my daughter...
Stugotz, get some money. Stugotz, get some money.
I was thinking my daughter, she's a nuisance, okay? And so I was thinking, like, she has kind of separated herself from the rest of the family. But you could also interpret it as
going to come up with the therapist in a few
she's
years.
kind of flying on her own, you know? She's matured. She's flying on her own. It's called the Rachel. So that's me. That's my wife. That's my daughter, Emma. And that's Rachel.
Sell something!
Yeah. So what do you think? You want $20 for that, you think?
Have we lost communique with the artist?
Still, that Art Bryles. Is it 20 yet?
Oh, yeah. That is a blue and yellow circle. Now, you might think that they're circles, but they're not. Okay? So, I mean, it's blue and it's yellow. But what you really need to do, the inspiration behind that was, well, besides the fact that I'm a huge fan of sports and I like balls and I like circles and things that are circle, what I really wanted you to focus on is there is with the blue, right?
We vastly
and the yellow
overestimated
balls,
his sales
look
ability.
Deep inside of it and see whatever it is you want to see.
No.
Okay? I see a sun, I see a body of water, and then I see a little green melon there. But maybe you see something differently, and that's up to you.
Melon?
You know, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty. Right? Yeah, that's the beauty of art. Yeah.
All right,
so
you've gone to that move enough, Stugotz. Stugotz, enough with.
All right, wait. I have an offer. Hold on. I have a $70 offer right now on art. A $70 offer on art. Anyone want to go higher than $70 on art? Yeah. Plus, those are some. I don't know if you guys saw these, but these are just like $15, $20 pieces here. That's. Again,
who are these three people around him?
Oh, wow, the narwhal just sold. Hold on, everyone.
The narwhal?
You look like an
What do you mean the narwhal? Where's there a narwhal?
Just sold for $20. The art just sold for $70. Okay?
For more than 20?
Sir, listen, I am Flembrandt. I am one of the most renowned artists down here on the beach. And it is Art Basel. And so I am selling some of my finest pieces here. We have a $20 offer right now on the narwhal. And we have a $70 offer on, I call that art. That's
Okay,
art.
one of those three guys is just the security guard.
I appreciate your conversation.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be $5.
Are you interested in the piece?
No, I don't have no wall space.
Oh, no, you can't listen. You want to listen for free. You can't listen for free.
Kick him out of the gallery. Kick him. Hey, Flembrandt, kick him out of your gallery. Right. Have security kick him out of your gallery if he's just here to listen.
I mean, Dan, the guy thinks I'm doing this for free. He wanted to listen. He wanted to sit in and listen on this conversation for free. I thought it was $5 to listen. So,
but he's still
there.
$20
right now for which one?
Narwhal.
All right, the narwhal is about to sell for $20.
Where was there a narwhal? We didn't discuss the narwhal.
The narwhal is selling for $24, okay? $24?
Is that a
$24. I just got an extra $4 out of him. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Oh, we don't have change. We'll get back to you. Just give Billy your address and everything.
We'll get back to you.
I can't give it to you without the 220s. Bill, get his address and send him $16 change when you get a chance,
We
okay?
don't have change. What kind of business you running down
we
there?
We don't have change. Stay right here. What's your name, sir? Fred. Fred, thank you very much for buying the narwhal. It's one of my favorite pieces. Enjoy it. Put it somewhere special in the house. And,
all right, what are we going to do here, Mike? We're going to come back to him here in the next segment to find out how much money that he made, or are we going to stay with him here?
This may be dying on the vine, but let's give it one more commercial break to see if it can gather more steam. And if it's not good, we'll bail on it.
Okay. All right. We don't know where it is right now. There is a crowd around him. What is a success? What is a success?
Well,
he said $1,200.
He said $1,200 was his quota.
He's got some work to do.
Yeah.
Okay, some work yet to be done. We'll see what he does during the break and come back after this.
Dan Le Batard.
How has ESPN allowed this?
Stugotz.
They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Somebody is hitting us and specifically Mike Ryan where it hurts by writing in, this idea is worse than your Gronk Family Feud segment. I don't agree with you. Stugotz right now, Flembrandt is on the street painting, live painting, and that's what's lured a crowd. Give us a play-by-play, Stugotz, on what's going on with you. What's been going on during the break here?
I just am putting the finishing touches on my live painting here. It is it's a zero next to a sack. I call it the J.J. Watt. And so I'm just putting the final touches on that. And then I might get into, if we have some time here, I might do what I call the KD. It's just an easy pass. So I'm working on that one as well. But Dan, this is very exciting because there's a big crowd forming here. And I have a $120 bid right now for art. I also have bids on some of the other pieces as well. So there are a bunch of people out here. This is fantastic. They're realizing that they're not going to get art this good anywhere on the beach this week, and they're getting it from a renowned artist, Stugotz. So here's the deal: we have $220 bids.
No, we're together.
Oh, you guys are together.
120.
Okay, so we have a $100 bid and a $120 bid on art. Do you want to go higher than 120?
Higher.
He's going higher than 120. How much higher than 120? We have a $140 bid on art. $150 on art. $200 on art. We have $200 on art. Do I hear 210? $300.
Wow.
Here we go.
For art.
Hey,
For
exceeded
art.
my expectations already.
I told you, art.
$350 for art. $350 right now.
This girl's
for
just
art.
taking photos.
One of
She
the
has no
guys-
idea what's happening.
Well, one of the guys who's bid is now questioning whether the guy who just bid $350 has enough money to pay for it. Which
You
is
take
just
credit
now they're
cards,
talking
Stu?
trash.
60.
$360 we just got offered for art. $370. $400
Oh, for
for
the love
art.
of God, this has turned into a total insanity.
$420 for art. $450 for art.
We underestimated him.
Stu, do you
Sarah.
take credit card?
$450. $460 for art.
And I'm telling you, if we put that on, if we auction that off to the audience, we'd get $20,000
Yeah,
for it. I'm not even
probably.
kidding you.
We might.
I'm not even kidding.
Listen, Dan is up. I'm talking to Dan right now, and he's right. He's with Sarah Spain, and he's saying if we put this out to the audience, on Twitter, someone would offer like $20,000 for this. I'm not saying you guys have to do that, but someone would. So, okay, I know, but I'm just saying. So what's the last offer right now? $465. All right, so we're at $465. We're up to $470.
Stugotz, you got COB at the end of this segment. You got nothing. You got to close up the business. You got 4 minutes to finish this up.
Where are we at?
You got 4 minutes.
$535 for art.
Stu, you got
500. I gotta be honest with you, it's a steal. I mean, I'm giving it away. I am giving art away.
Stu, do you think you can get anybody up to $1,000 in the next 4 minutes?
Would it be possible? Listen, here's the deal, guys. Okay, we'll give that to you for $5.
The buy it now price.
Here's the deal. I will let you guys. If someone here has $1,000, not only will I give you art, I will throw in Rachel. I will throw in the J.J. Watt. I will throw in Empty. I will throw these things in.
I'll give them all away for one.
For $1,000. All right. J.J. Watt is sold for $100. Forget it. All right. No, Bill. I'm going to take care of this. JJ, and you're still in on the art.
He's selling things twice.
What's the brand
Yes,
on
of course he is.
$535 on art.
Maybe we can just get a mimeograph of the J.J. Watt.
$540 on art.
Stugotz.
What'd you say, Dan?
You have another canvas down there. You could draw another art real quick, and you could sell that, and you could double your profits if you've got another canvas down there.
Listen to me. Here's what I'll do, okay? You guys both clearly want art, and I understand that. What I'm going to do...
Make another art?
I'm going to make another art live for you here. So, but we need to establish a price.
Make it out of empty.
Right, so we got 50
Make it out of emptiness.
Turn empty into art.
Take emptiness and turn it into art, Stugotz. That's the symbol.
That's a great. Dan just made a great suggestion. I'm going to sell someone emptiness for $1,000, and you could turn it into art.
No, you turn it
into art.
He's even giving off the work here.
Oh, man.
He's even outsourcing the work
That should
here.
be the tagline on his website. I make empty into art.
I'm going to get both of you art. Okay, I'm going to draw art right now for you. Okay, so both of you will get it. How much are we? How much?
Shouldn't be too tough, right? Because he did it the first time.
You got 2 minutes.
That beats everything because this is a one of a kind art. But if
you're right, but that's the original. So how much for the original?
Cheapening his work.
I really just want to see him attempt to redraw art since everyone knows he didn't do that.
Yes,
that was someone else's work.
$540. $550. We got to wrap this up. We got 2 minutes. How much? $555. $560.
Oh, for the love of God.
$575. $6.
Oh my God!
Is this these people's college funds? What's happening?
What is happening here?
$600. $620. $620. $620 going once. $620 going twice. $620.
Everyone signs it.
Everyone signs it. So $620.
Did you just promise your autograph, Dan?
I'm not signing anything.
I'll take the watch for $100.
All right, so
I'll take the circle one.
all right, so the JJ watch is sold for $100.
Yeah.
All right, close it up, Stugotz. We'll figure out. We'll do the math when you get back up here. We'll figure out what you sold when you get back up here in a little while. Close
I
this
sold
out.
everything. I made a killing. Yeah.
Wait,
All right.
did you sell the circles yet?
No.
Or what do they call those triangle circles?
Yes.
I'll give you 20 for that.
Oh, we just got another $20 for some circles. This
What are
is
some
fantastic.
triangle
25,
circles?
25, 30.
Oh,
40.
a bidding war on the circles now.
If he
40,
doesn't come up here with
40.
wads of cash, I
But
feel like he's
going
going to close up shop.
But he's going to come up here with
how much?
wads of cash.
Stu, you better collect.
I was going to say, do you
He's up
take
to 40 now.
credit card, or are we expecting these people to have $600 cash?
20 right here. Boom. Yours. Okay. 40 for the circles.
This is
50 for the
unbelievable.
circles. Rachel. Oh, 50 for Rachel. Yes. Oh, my daughter for $50. Woo!
I want the wad, but I need a small.
Wait a minute.
I need a Stugotz signature.
The real Rachel. You get the real Rachel. You get my real daughter.
Oh, boy. Okay, things got weird.
Here? I mean, honestly.
All right.
What is going on? Stinks down here. It's Art Basil, not Fart Basil.
It stinks down here? Did he accuse one of his customers of being gassy?
Yeah. And then he says,
right.
not fart Basil.
Yeah.
All right, Flembrandt. Good talking to you. We'll count up your money when you get back up here.
You want more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz? Tune in starting at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU.
Computer, execute 12.4p operation.
Optimizing algorithm. Running encryption packet alpha 990. Oh, I don't feel so good.
What is it, computer?
Is it hot in here? It feels hot in here. I feel a little clammy. I should lie down or something.
A computer with a virus? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
Those oysters Rockefeller were a mistake.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Dan Le Batard.
Look at him. Just, what are you doing? You're leaning back in your chair, rubbing your belly.
Yeah. I mean, as Dan pointed out, I was left to my own devices all weekend, man. It was awful. I mean, it was just terrible. Some of the things that I was consuming.
Stugotz.
I baked cookies at like 11:30 one night. Little Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream. Woof. That was after 18 chicken wings. And I washed it down with some Toll House cookies and some milk.
Aren't you leaving some consumed stuff out? How do you get to the point that you're eating this much?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I am looking forward to a report here because I was told that there were just $100 bills being thrown around on the street, that people were reaching in and grabbing cash. So we'll get an update from Flembrandt in a second. Chris Sims back with us. Bleacher Report, you remember him from his NFL days, and he's got some rankings of NFL quarterbacks, and we've got 71 of them. We got a bonus. He said Blake Bortles was the 70th ranked quarterback in the league, and so we asked him who's 71. Cody Kessler is what he said. 69 is Austin Davis. 68 is T.J. Yates. 67 Cardale Jones. 66 Brandon Whedon. Are you ready?
Have we yet established whether he actually had a list or you forced him into
Not
acknowledging?
Not important. Please don't let anyone see behind the curtain, Sarah. Thank you. And now, time. Are you excited for number 65? Are you excited for
I
number
am
65?
thrilled.
All right, let's do this. Thank you, Chris, for being on with us. The 65th best quarterback in the NFL, according to Chris Sims, is?
C.J. Beathard.
Yeah!
All right.
So C.J. Beathard. All right. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate it.
All right, I'll see you later. I had a better story I thought of, but I'll save it for the next 64 days.
Plenty of time for that. Yes, plenty of time. Thank you, Chris. We'll talk to you on Monday.
I can't wait for the top 10.
All right, be good, guys and gals. Have a good day.
When Mitchell Trubisky's in there.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to see who gets left out. We're going to go and
He's going to forget one.
Yeah, of course.
Have to tack him on at 72.
Right, because he just started the list, and now he's going back from 70. He's going to get to number 1. It's going to be like, oh, I forgot Tom Brady.
Or he's going to get to number 15 and realize there's no quarterbacks left.
Right. He's making this up as he goes along. So we'll see where we end up at the end of this and if it makes sense. But let's check back in with Flembrandt. Where is he? What is going on with him?
He's walking upstairs right now. He's supposed to be, anyways. He was supposed to be here for the start of the segment, but once people start bringing out $100 bills,
you got to stay for pictures.
Yeah, he's probably not leaving.
All right.
Are we on ESPN News now?
We moved. Yes, we moved to ESPN News.
People are wondering.
Yes, we went from ESPNU to ESPN News.
He's back.
Flembrandt is back, and he's counting on. He's got hundreds. How much? What is the total amount of money?
Show me your money.
I believe that there were more hundreds than this before he got up here because he knows we're going to take it all and give it to Jimmy V. I'm guessing there are more hundreds. He knows that we're not allowed to do what we just did.
Check his back pocket. Check under his beret.
That's right. So how much money did you raise? What were the highlights? You are sweating profusely.
It's hot out there.
Wow, you are warm.
You are making the country so jealous right now. It's 75 degrees out there.
Yeah, it's hot. All right, so I got 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 750, 790, $810.
So you failed.
You failed.
Yeah, whatever.
Your goal was it 1,000 or 1,200?
Maybe I failed, but look at all these hundies. C notes.
Explain to me what happened back there. These guys just had $100 in cash. Was there any buyer's remorse down there? If you don't know what we're doing, Stugotz went into the street, 10th and Ocean. We're in the middle of Art Basel. He sold some crappy art that Billy made that he was pretending was his own. And the J.J. Watt was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
That was his own. It was a zero a sack.
I'm glad that was the sack you chose to draw. I was concerned at first when you started drawing.
Was it between two J's?
No.
It was a zero and
a
sack.
It was just a zero next to a sack.
It might be between two J's.
Well, I did put some things around it, and you could interpret those as J's if you'd like. I mean, that's totally up to you, however you want to interpret it, or nines, or whatever you want. Hundreds! Woo!
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
what was going on?
What kind of degenerate shows up with pockets full of $100 bills?
Did we just take a bunch of drug money? Does this have blood on it?
So tell me more about this Jimmy V thing.
Yeah, we got to give all this money to Jimmy V.
Yeah.
He can't be out on a street corner just making money for you.
Oh, okay.
We're going to start showing up on Saturdays, and he's going to be down there with a stupid easel thinking he's going to make hundreds, and then realize that there's no cameras around and no one wants to talk to him.
The guy, so you asked about buyer's remorse, and I'm telling you that the guy who paid $620 for art, without question, he is having buyer's remorse. I mean, I can see it written all over his face.
How could you not?
Whoever that guy is, if you're listening now, I want photos of art in your home. Is it on the mantle? Is it above your bed? Where are you putting your likely the most expensive piece of art in your home?
For those of you who don't know, it was just a devil wearing a varsity jacket that had a bee on it, and that was called art.
Don't forget the coach's headsets.
The coach's headsets.
And he was carrying a football.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it's who you think it is, though.
Guillermo seems. Wait a minute. Guillermo seems like he's just left a war zone. You seem really rattled. Are you okay? What happened?
I cannot believe what just went on down there. Like we had people outbidding each other, hundreds of dollars. All these supplies, all the art, all the canvas, $53 for everything. For everything.
I am telling you. Be careful what information you give out here, okay? I am telling you how we created more than one art. Now, I did sign it, Van Gogh's, and I did put 1 of 1 on there, but had we made like 6 of 6, I'm telling you, we would have cleaned house today. I mean, I had people texting me say they'd give me $5,000 for art.
Oh, no, that would have, if we had sold that on the internet, that would have sold an enormous amount of money from people who didn't want to just come out here on this corner and fight these drug dealers for their blood money.
We could legitimately make replica posters of it and sell them for like $20, and I think a bunch of people would buy them.
Yep.
I would have Lebo do it.
That would make it genuine art, but I guess we now have to call Stugotz a genuine artist.
What I was going to say was I think Guillermo's shell-shocked face and his reaction is that his belief in art has died. He just witnessed what art is, and it's
just
a scam.
Yes, thank you.
He proved his point.
As a societal experiment, the whole idea was Stugotz was going to prove the point that all of art is a scam. You can make money by just putting anything on a canvas, and he just proved it.
Your brother is a world-famous artist, Lebo. His work is on the side of cruise ships. It probably took him several years to sell a piece for what Stugotz just did.
You know what's actually funny about that? You tell that story. That's a funny story that you say that. I remember, and this is funny, I remember picking up my brother after a week's worth of work. You guys are actually going to like this story, okay? LeboArt.com is where you go. My brother is. He's a very successful artist. All his stuff goes for $20,000.
Yep.
I remember leaving a sub shop with him that he had spent an entire week doing a mural for, all over the wall, 16-hour days. And he left there thinking it was all the money in the world. They'd given him $750 for a week of work. And he was so happy. And I said to him at the time, Dave, if you watch that, you're going to laugh about this one day. And look who's laughing now. Stugotz
all the way to the bank.
0 minutes of work.
Can we
literally someone else did it?
Can we turn Stugotz into a full-fledged international phenomenon? Who's that famous artist? Is it Belky? What's it?
Banksy?
Banksy. Damn it.
That's a fun.
Belky.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Belky.
From Perfect Strangers?
Perfect Strangers?
Belky. I mean, what?
Belky's Naray from Deco Drive here locally?
Local news anchor?
The Belk Bowl?
Banksy.
Yeah.
Banksy, who does this. Nobody knows who Banksy is, or is Banksy now known? Do we know who Banksy actually is?
If you search hard enough, there's convincing internet
He's
reports.
actually gone on the street and done exactly what Stugotz did in Paris to prove that you can be Banksy and have incredible works of art, but if nobody knows the name attached to it, they won't buy it.
So maybe this is what we do. Can we create a genuine artistic phenomenon out of Stugotz and his work that he's not doing, that Guillermo's doing for $53?
Did I miss Chris Sims's number 66 or 65?
You did.
Oh.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I missed the Sims segment?
Yes, you did miss it. Number 65.
Listen, I'll pay you $800 if you tell me who number 65 is. Right now. We have 5 seconds on.
Do you remember C.J. Beathard? Is that who picked it? I don't really care.
Too high.
Man, your headphones are so loud.
I know. I'm hot, man.
Demand wants more money.
Sweating. Made some good money today, man. Did some good work. And the people are happy, and that's all that matters.
Don Batard.
Do you refer to the yellow sauce at a hibachi restaurant as yum yum sauce? 57% of the audience said no.
Stugotz.
Do you go ginger, yum yum, 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 or yum, 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 yum. 38% of the audience said yum, 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 yum. So they get 3 yum, yum sauces. They ditch the ginger, get 2 yum, yums with an additional yum, yum. Second place was ginger, yum, yum. That Chris said earlier, no one goes ginger, ginger. 18% of the audience goes ginger, ginger. And 18% of the audience also goes yum, 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 yum. About that.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Method Man, unfortunately, eliminated last week. He had
wanted to see the magic.
6-week run against Colin Cowherd. So we've got a new celebrity prognosticator in 10 minutes. But before we do that, Sarah Spain is with us. You are the commissioner of our Bucket of Death, Grid of Death League, and we've got like a real problem on our hands. We've got like a total uprising. Nobody wants to do anything anymore. Nobody wants to play this game anymore. Everybody wants to be finished with it, and now there are a whole lot of penalties that are coming that people are simply saying, I'm just not going to do it. Now, I don't think that Zardoz costume should be feared by anyone the way it is by me. And I have not, to any punishment, said I will not do it, although I would have had a hard time with that hairy tripe. If I had landed on that hairy tripe or those pig's feet or like eating challenges, I would have had a hard time. But I've not said at any point that I'm not doing it. But Chris Cody has announced he's simply not doing it. And Chris Cody's very low on the totem pole. And so you have anarchy in your league. And what we are right now at a point where people are wanting to cancel the entire thing, to just finish it. The only reason that we do it is for the listener, because the listener likes to have us bathed in shame.
First of all, I would like to recommend that whoever does get the Zardoz wear a full-body nude jumpsuit underneath, which will significantly reduce the shame of wearing it, right? There won't be hair. There won't be flab rolls. Everything will be sucked nice and tight in.
Sarah,
you're still wearing the Zardoz.
I feel like that would be cheating, but okay.
This is the leadership that the league office and the NFL has been missing.
Right. These are the steps that we can take to sort of mitigate some of the issues we're having. Now, I mentioned early on, in fact, the reason I was appointed commish is because I was sitting right next to Stugotz as he tried to crumble up his powdered donuts into smithereens and then brush them off the desk. And by making them small enough to turn into crumbs, he therefore eliminated several donuts worth of donuts.
He was supposed to eat how many? 36?
36, I believe.
Yeah.
Mini donut.
Unfortunately, you noticed that, right?
And I noticed. Then he tried to turn it into a milkshake, which then he didn't drink most of and threw out, and then he puked in the garage.
How many do you think he actually ate of the mini donut?
I would say maybe 28, which is still a significant amount. But the point of having a grid of death and having these challenges, if you don't own up to them, the entire bit is lost and it's pointless. And then you're just wasting significant chunks of your radio show to do something repeatedly that has no payoff. And so immediately when I saw Stugotz doing that, I said, what is the point of doing this if when you get to the challenges, you don't actually do them?
Well, he owes 5 of them.
Exactly.
Nobody wants this to go away more than him right now, because then all his debts will go away.
Fat Chris is telling me he's not going to do Soup of the Day. I'm sorry, but you agreed to a trade with your father. You're doing Soup of the Day. You're not going to die from having some chowder on your head for 5 days in a row. Suck it up and do it.
The punishment was Ice Bucket Challenge.
No, it wasn't. That disappeared when your father invented doctors to turn it into a Soup of the Day challenge, which is what you accepted when you made the trade. The Bucket Challenge did not exist anymore by the time you made the trade.
Greg Cody was sick. He was legitimately sick a couple months ago, so we didn't want to dump ice water on his head.
I'm sorry, boy who cried wolf. If you're finally sick for real, then maybe you shouldn't have said you were sick 18 times before that, because no one's buying it anymore.
And sent us a note from Dr. McGillicuddy.
If I was refusing to do the Ice Bucket Challenge, then I could see I'm refusing to do it. Okay, do something worse. I'm willing to do the Ice Bucket Challenge. There's been trades before for punishments. That's allowed.
Anymore.
You might want to just manage the tone just a little bit. I'm just saying it's a possible
Are you
fine.
threatening her
the commish doesn't get fines for tone. The commish's tone is her entire being.
I think that's a fine for
Well,
you.
I got plenty of money today.
Wait a minute. You can't reach into the Jimmy V bucket to pay your fines?
Well, then I have no money.
All right, let's do the Bucket of Death. Let's do it. Where is it?
Let's go. We're doing it?
Yes, we got to do it. It can't just disappear.
Even if we stop doing it, I assume that we would all have to, whatever debts we had, we would have to pay up, even if we stopped doing it.
Of course.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything to you. You don't.
I was looking forward to not doing it anymore, but that's fine. Let's keep it moving.
There's going to have to be a lightning round in the first ever bucket pool without gloves, because we need to fit all this in, because we got a celebrity prognosticator next segment, a rapid fire bucket of death.
Let's go. Chris, what do you got? Let's go.
Nervous, man.
Get out the list of the teams that are playing.
I got it.
The Redskins.
All right, so you've got who's Washington?
They're playing the Chargers at Los Angeles.
I'll put it back.
All right. This second pick is final. The second pick is final for Chris Cody. This is a suicide
Any
pool.
team.
Oh,
nice.
great pull.
Nice.
All right.
All right, you'll have to
figure out that
time
time
later.
If you don't know what we're doing, this is a suicide pool. There's a bucket of death. There's a Grim Reaper. And basically, any helmet that we pick is our corresponding team for that week. And if it loses, we've got to do some sort of shameful indignity. Go ahead, Billy.
Nervous.
No time to rummage.
Oh, my.
Alabama.
Oh, so you get Alabama, Clemson. You have to
Putting it back.
You're putting it back.
Alabama's
okay.
been pulled twice, and both times it's been put back.
Pick any QB
to go over
helmet.
350
That
yards.
is the dumbest helmet.
Right.
You should have known that. You should any QB to go.
Oh, you
it
got
is the
Brady
dumbest
against
helmet.
the Dolphins,
No, it's
man.
infuriating. No, but they'll win 23-3, and he'll throw for 280 yards. It's just infuriating. This whole damn bucket. Go ahead, Roy.
The Dolphins.
They're an 11.5-point dog at home against the Patriots.
Save and draw again.
Oh, wow.
Safe. He's totally safe no matter what.
Hugs.
Oh, congratulations. Roy is totally safe. Oh, a hug from the Reaper. Wow, the Reaper with some rare
Now, he can
friendliness.
save anybody with this save helmet because he doesn't use it on himself because he got the buy. Reaper, I have the Golden Helmet of Life. This is my second week, so you can go into that studio. I don't
Roy, I
have
just
to
want you
draw.
to remember who gave you the golden baby of life.
Roy, remember who's the only one that visited you in the hospital?
Roy, remember who has $900 in their pocket right now?
Roy, remember
That's
who,
the V Foundation that has $900 in his pocket.
Who's the boss?
Tony Danza?
Good one, Dan.
Tony Danza.
I like to rummage in the bucket for a minute here.
Rummage a little quickly.
Rummaging. Hold on, I got a helmet in my hand. It is silver. It says the Harlem Globetrotters.
That's a big pull.
Yeah, everybody's getting good stuff. I'm going to end up with a Zardos.
I feel like it's going
I'm going to end up with a Zardos, so this is a dark helmet. Oh, it's the Lebo helmet.
Oh, so we have to call your brother, and he has to pick any sports team, and you're married to that team. That team must not lose.
All right, I'll do that, and I'll quickly text my brother.
Wow.
Time
You're texting your brother to pick a winner.
I want you guys to watch my phone. You watch my hand on my phone before you
I
call my
call
brother.
Shamockery.
I volunteered.
Confiscate the phone.
I self-reported. Sarah's pick.
Oh,
wow. Can she get the golden helmet of life?
No, she can get the Hugs helmet,
Why
though.
can't she get the golden helmet of
Because
life?
I'm locked in, man.
Whoa.
Why can't she have the golden
helmet of life is mine. You pick again.
No, you can get the golden helmet.
God.
Guys.
Oh, the commissioner abusing the power.
Guys, you could get the golden helmet of life if I pulled it this week, but I pulled it last week.
Oh, the
You
rules
can't
from
swap
this
without a
guy
helmet.
every week.
I'm not making that up.
you
See, this is why I wanted the whole thing to stop.
Okay, so what happens now? I choose who I swap, and I pick again, and they get
Time
that?
out. Order.
Yes.
Sarah, this is your league. If you
Okay,
want the
then-
golden helmet, it's yours. But you can also
I'm going to
get
swap
hugs.
with Roy.
Right.
This is not her league. She's
Hold
just
on a
enforcing-
second. Hold on a second. Everybody slow down a second. What team did you pick? What team did Chris pick?
Patriots.
All right, so you've got the Patriots.
I mean, it's Roy. Roy has hugs.
Here's my thing, though. Technically, it's as if you chose the golden helmet of life this week because it lasts 3 weeks. So your
Jesus, this is what I wanted to avoid. No, that's not how it works.
Ari,
if
hug
I pulled
somebody.
it this
This
week,
is
you could take
this is why we want this to end because of this. Look, look at Mike Ryan.
This
Look
is
at
basically
Mike Ryan.
is Jerry Jones
Look
right
at
now,
him.
and I'm Goodell.
Look at him.
Mike Ryan is trying to say that his potential of the ownership in this is more important than the commissioner.
I
In the
motion that
end-
we end the league.
Guillermo, I motion that we put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should Sarah Spain be allowed to swap for Mike Ryan's golden
She
helmet
hasn't
of
drawn
life?
another helmet, and no, she can't because that's not the rule.
The
You can't just
people-
change the rules
You
2.5
make up
years
the
into
rules.
this.
You make
Oh,
up
sorry,
the
Jerry
rules.
Jones. The compensation
That has been-
committee is the people,
Guys,
and they
this
will
has
vote.
This has been a rule since day one.
She needs to draw another helmet anyway.
Draw another helmet
first.
Sarah.
Has it
I'm
been a
with Mike
rule?
on this.
If it's
I'm
been a
with
rule
Mike.
since day
This
one
is
and you're not
absurd.
making it up,
This is
then I will
absurd.
switch with Roy. If
We've
it's a
been-
rule, I'm nothing if not fair.
We've been doing this for
Let's-
2.5
let's-
years. And
let-
we're
Okay.
Let her draw the helmet
Okay, I'm
first,
switching with Roy.
and then we'll figure it out.
I already hugged Mike, so
This
that's
is
official.
why you see now you
Yes.
have experienced for
Anarchy.
yourself. No, but it's not just anarchy on air. This will continue off air.
Yes.
Mike Ryan will throw a temper tantrum. He'll be yelling
Well,
at
Mike
everybody.
Ryan is Jerry Jones.
It took him out of the show for 45 minutes last week because he was just screaming at
His
everybody.
face.
I know.
Aggressive.
I know.
Okay, so whoever I end up swapping with, this is what you're getting. It could be good. The Texans.
It is Tom Savage. It is the worst. So either Hugs or the Harlem Globetrotters or the Lebo helmet or whatever it is that you
Or
want.
the 350 helmet.
Or the Any quarterback. You can take anything that you want here. Sarah, what do you want to trade? Oh, the Texans is terrible. You can have the Harlem Globetrotters. You can have Hugs. You can have the Patriots. You can have the Lebo helmet. You can have the golden helmet of life if you decide that the commissioner is going to overrule Mike Ryan, overbearing rulemaker. Or you can have Guillermo's any quarterback throws for over 350 yards. Guillermo is looking at you longingly. What is your selection?
I don't really want to hug all of you. I also don't want to leave poor Roy with something, but Roy does have the best body, so he would probably pull off the Zardos, so I'm taking the Hugs.
All right, there it is. She went easy on Stugotz.
Roy, no matter what, you got the save. You got the veto, so you can save yourself. If you
Everybody's happy. Yay! Merry Christmas!
Except for me, who now has
Everyone
to live
loves
with
the commish.
whatever my brother picked.
Give me your phone.
Celebrity prognosticator next.
Dan Batard.
See how quick he is at slithering around things?
Good.
Like, yeah, you are good. You are a master liar.
Stugotz.
Like you are a genius liar. You are like the Einstein of liars.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, so we've got a theory we're testing around here that the predictions that are made on these Sunday shows and everywhere else by the experts, they don't know any more than you do. And Method Man had a nice run here. 7 weeks, man. And he got us above Colin Cowherd for the season. Colin Cowherd is 32-23. We are better than that. We've been better than Colin Cowherd this season, but Method Man is gone, and we bring back an old favorite. He had a long run. What was your run? Do you remember, Carrot Top, how long you were?
I didn't lose one game, I think, for like 9 weeks.
That's not accurate at all.
You were 45-0 over 9 weeks.
That's excessive.
Yeah, but you were with us for a long time, and we basically at the end of it were like 20-19.
Right.
It wasn't great.
Whatever it was great. I was surprised.
It wasn't great.
More than surprised, shocked that you never called me back to do it again, since I was so good. But whatever.
But you're here now.
But now you're here.
You dropped me like Matt Lauer on a Monday. I was doing great.
And it's because you lost, Carrot Top. Nobody ran you out of here. Yes, it's because
okay.
Yes.
You're right.
Those are the rules, Carrot.
But the last time you were on with us, you had a Mike Tyson story for us, and for some reason we couldn't get to it. So we can get to it now if you want. What was the Mike Tyson story?
What was the Mike Tyson story? Well, I met a few times, and one time, of course, I was walking with a buddy, and my friend says, "Dude, do you think that's Mike Tyson?" And I'm like, "He's got a tattoo in the front of his face. I'm pretty sure that's probably Mike Tyson." Like, that's idiotic. In fact, what do you want your tattoo? Put it somewhere subtle and no one will see it. Put it right in the front of my face.
Yeah.
He's pretty much screwing the line up as well as me. But so I had done this joke on the Tonight Show and all these other different shows back in the day after he bit Evander Holyfield's ear. And so I was at one of these big award shows and they sat me right next to Dennis Hopper, God bless him, he was alive. I sat right next to him. I was like, holy moly, I was just having fun, tell him sorry. He had all the seats. He had to sit next to me, and we're having fun. And he says, oh, you know Mike Tyson, don't you? And I said, well, I know who he is. Well, he's right behind you. Hold on. And he's Mike, and he waves over at him. And I thought, oh, God. Because the joke that I was doing, it was like the rubber, like a boxing headgear that had these big rubber ears on the side of it so his opponents would have something to chew on, some stupid thing. But it was really, really funny looking. And so it was on all the TV shows and everywhere. And so I look back and I can see his face kind of look at me, and he looks at me, and he comes right up to me. I mean, like nose to nose. And he said, you think that's funny, the thing you put the ears in the thing? And I was like, no, I don't think it's funny. And he's like, you think it hurt people's feelings with that? And I said, no, I swear to God, Mike, it's my job. I'm just having fun. And I swear to God, he was going to kill me. And he kind of looked at me like he was going to kill me. He was snarling, and then he gave me like a love tap on my left shoulder, which is still swollen. It was like 12 years ago. And it was unbelievable. And then I'm just kidding, man. Yeah, you kidding me, man? And I'm like, oh God. So now we've become.
You were legitimately
lovers,
scared, though, right? Lovers. That's good. That's nice. Wow. That's a nice plot twist at the end there. That's nice.
A sloppy kisser, but a nice guy. Really
okay,
nice guy.
Thank you, gentle lover. Let's go ahead and do celebrity prognosticator. That's legitimate fear, though, right? You were legitimate fear swept over you as Tyson.
No, legitimate fear. And he was good. He was going to kill me. He was his acting. He was up for it.
How many times a day you think he does that to someone? Mike Tyson.
I mean, he can do it whenever he wants, and he should do it often. Yeah.
Every time someone asks him to pay for something.
Right. But Dan,
we were sitting at a bar one time after the incident. We had fun together. And all these kids were going by heckling him, like, "Hey, what happened, champ?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I walked up to this kid. I said, "Dude, he could literally kill you.
Yeah, bad idea.
Why are you heckling the camp.
Right. And then I love that kid said, wow, I just got lectured by Carrot Top. That's not what I was expecting when I heckled.
But then Carrot Top took off his shirt and he was like, if he doesn't do it, I'll take care of you.
Right. Carrot
Have you
Top,
seen what's under here?
That's right. Ripped Carrot Top was bringing the thunder, too. Let's go ahead and do this.
Oh, my God.
With Carrot Top here. Let's do it.
Wait, first, is he high?
And now it is time for Celebrity Prognosticator. Let's win some money.
We should find out if he's high first, because the only people who have won this year have been high.
Yeah, I think that Carrot Top told us though that he doesn't do any of that stuff. Like those scenes at the end of The Hangover are funny, at least because Carrot Top, didn't you tell us you don't do any of that nonsense?
No, yeah, I'm the one that came up with that bit. They said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Why don't we do coke? Because I think it'd be funny if Carrot Top was doing coke." So.
Not really an answer, but we'll take it.
All right. But do you smoke weed? That's what we're right.
Weed. Yeah, we were doing coke in the movie, but
are you
movie coke?
Are you a weed smoker though?
No, not a weed smoker. No.
So Seahawks at Jags. Jags minus 2.5. Who you got?
But the marijuana's legal in Vegas now, where I live. So you can get it pretty much anywhere.
Jags,
Carrot Top.
Seahawks at Jags.
Seattle at Jags. All right, there's gonna be a lot of gum chewing on this. Come on, that was a great joke.
Seahawks at Jags. Jags minus 2.5. Who you got?
I'm gonna, I'm gonna probably go with the Jags. I think that there's a lot of gum gonna go through Pete Carroll's mouth that day.
Yes,
but, I'm gonna go with the Jags.
A lot of gum. Vikings at Panthers. Panthers plus 2.5. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Vikings on that one.
Eagles at Rams. Rams minus 2. Who you got?
It's going to be a very foggy, smoky stadium. Let's see. I really like the way Goff's playing. I'm going to take the Rams on that one, but the Eagles are they're not clicking right now. They're kind of lost their step.
Okay, they just lost last week. There was no steps.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's fine. Jets at Broncos.
They've lost it completely, right? They lost one game.
That's right. One game. That's not a step. It's not anything other than a game. Jets at Broncos. Broncos plus 1. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Jets. I think the Broncos just blow. They're like the Browns lost in a bye week, so they're about as bad as the Broncos. Take the Jets.
Hold on.
Taking the Jets.
Raven.
I mean, you're a comedian, man.
Well, but this is radio, and props are a key to his act.
Right,
and we're really catching him at his most vulnerable, right? This is just the comedy.
I wish I had a button, you bastards. You'd be getting it on your hand.
Ravens at Steelers. I love the relationship that Carrot Top has with the other comedians, because the other comedians treat Carrot Top, Carrot Top, yeah, he knows. He enjoys that. Ravens and Steelers. He might not enjoy it. He pretends to enjoy it. Ravens and Steelers. Steelers minus 5.
I'm going to take the Steelers at home.
All right. Looking forward to you being on with us next week.
We got to check in with New York first to see if my picks are okay. All right, we're good.
Okay. I thought there was going to be a prop or a sound.
I'd be a lot more confident if he was making prop bets.
Hold on.
Oh no, that was a good joke by her. It was that was a delayed.
We were not. That wasn't going against Sarah. It was.
That was directed at Carrot Top.
It was the third consecutive bad joke Carrot Top has told.
Carrot Top, man. Good God.
Comedy's all timing. Right. I didn't time it right.
We'll talk to you next week, hopefully, Carrot Top. Good talking.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
That was going to be my first to key.
The man wants more money.
You almost got it.
That's certain. I want him to win.
Stuff. He didn't. That was some lame comedy he was throwing our way.
You can listen to the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio, and you can watch on ESPNU.